Are you comfortable with wearing this on your collar?
Yeah, I was trying to make it as discreet as possible.
Yeah, because I know it's kind of bulky, but...
Underneath here, maybe, like this?
Yeah.
How much you gonna film with him?
Yeah, you know what?
Looks like the Marine Corps.
US Marine Corps?
Yes.
Can I just ask you, how did you get involved with the Blue Angels?
Well, I came involved with the Blue Angels as a result of being in the military for about 11 years prior to my joining the team. My first interest came from watching the movie Top Gun when I was 13, and I saw jets flying, and it kind of fever got into me, and so I decided that planes equaled the Air Force, and went to the Air Force Academy, and then realized I wanted to be a Marine. And in 1995, I was commissioned a Marine Corps officer. Went through flight school, and throughout all my time, I was finally able to get F-18s, which was my dream. And then once I made F-18s, the aircraft that I flew in the fleet deploying forces, I knew someday that I wanted to be a Blue Angel. So if you really think about, or do the math, I guess 13, now I'm 36, about 23 years ago, the seed was first planted, and it took me about 15 years to get to the point where I was able to be eligible to become a Blue Angel with all the flights that required, the hours required.
How many hours have you flown? I don't know which discipline, the F-18 Hornet. How many hours have you flown?
The F-18 I've flown about 2,200 hours, with about 2,500 hours total. That includes all the time that I received from flight school.
Right. Now it's interesting, you brought up Top Gun. I was just thinking about myself. Those pilots are considered the best of the best. Like you guys, the best of the best.
I would say that we're just a cross-section of the pilots out in the fleet. Those folks that are up at Top Gun, they are the ones that are making the tactical decisions, and then they're disseminating that information. So those gentlemen and ladies are top-notch individuals. We like to kind of hope we strive toward perfection like they do. We like to think that our paths are somewhat similar or parallel in that respect. And so we strive to be as good as they are professionally and tactically, and in hopes of showing off the Navy and the Marine Corps to
Can you describe the flight from Mexico to Mexico? And then just describe what happened when you came in to land. There was the flyover, and then I think you called it the breaking part.
That's right. So we took off from Pensacola, Florida, over by Alabama, and went airborne, and were able to meet an area refueling platform at KC-135 out of Rickenbacker Air National Guard Base in Columbus, Ohio, and they refueled us, meaning they gave us gas airborne. So while we were flying, we basically formed up with them, received gas from them via an external hose, essentially. We plugged in with our hydraulic refueling probe. Once we got about 4,000 pounds each, we then continued on and came past Niagara for a dedication of their airport, and then arrived here via the pitch-up rate. We were about 300 feet, 380 knots, and pitched up and entered the landing pattern and landed all six at intervals of about 15-second intervals.
How close are you to the next pilot on either side? I mean, you can see their faces.
Oh, absolutely. You mean body to body, or the planes to the planes?
Well, first the planes to the planes.
Planes to the planes. Probably we just moved our sets in, meaning we're a little bit closer. So we're about 2.5 feet.
Now this plane is something like, what, is 18 million, or what's the, I don't know what the value of the plane is, but I mean, obviously it's a very expensive plane. Do you ever get nervous? You're in control of this massive machine that costs a lot of money. Do you ever get nervous about that?
No. I think back when I first began flight school and started flying them, I think you hopefully have that a little bit of in you, a little bit of nervous feeling, out of respect for the aircraft. But I do still continue to respect the aircraft. I've just grown more comfortable with it. I say that to say not complacent, but I've gotten comfortable flying the machine, and when you're flying it, you kind of, just like the other air show performers, sometimes they talk about feeling the air or feeling the plane, what it's doing. You can kind of be one with the plane and execute what you need to, every maneuver. Kind of come one with it and work in unison.
I'm asking, how fun is it to fly this and then do the air show?
To fly the F-18 is definitely a dream come true for me personally. A multi-rotor aircraft that goes forward deployed, protects our country and democracy for that matter. And to fly them here in this regime is definitely a dream come true. The flying is fantastic on what we do with the aircraft, but the aircraft are just the means through which we are able to execute our mission, which is to provide hope and excitement and patriotism wherever we go, whether it be inside America or throughout the other countries throughout the world, and also to, in our case, mission specific is to recruit. So to do all those things all up in one squadron here at the Blue Angels is an honor, it's a privilege.
Okay, thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
I thought we were under some
A. These are the coolest. A's are single seats, B's 2 seats. The next upgrade is C's single seat, D's 2 seats, and the next upgrade from that is E's and F's, E single seat, F2C, and the F was a replacement for the F14.
What's the altitude at which when you're flying here?
We were at 27,000 feet, up with the airliner traffic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But can you go higher than that?
We can go to 51,000 here.
51,000, and that's
9 actually. But
does aircraft, like commercial aircraft, go that high?
No, they're usually high 30s, low 40s.
Okay.
The reason why jets, it's fuel, air mix. So the higher you go, the rarer the air, and the less drag, so you can go faster and with less burn and less resistance from drag.
So sometimes do you go up to 51,000?
No, the highest I've ever been is like 45, 46.
I guess there's no real reason to go up to 51.
No, not really.
Okay. Right.
Especially with older aircraft. Old aircraft are machines and parts are parts. So you have a system that pressurizes the cockpit. The higher you go, the more susceptible you would be to potentially those parts not working correctly and therefore not being at pressurized altitude you need to be at.
Okay. So have you ever been in a situation where you have to
eject,
bail out or eject? No.
Thankfully. Cross my fingers. All my takeoffs have equaled landings, so that's worked out for me so far.
Well, that's very good.
Yeah.
Like, do you remember the first time you flew one of these?
I do.
How old were you?
Oh, geez, that's a good question. How old was I? Graduated college 21. Winged in 99. So after that, it's 25. I guess I was 27.
27.
That's pretty old. So wait, just a second, quick. 99, I got winged. So then the summer of 99. No, I was 25.
So you're 25?
Yep.
Okay.
Almost 26.
But I'm assuming by the time you go to fly these, you are absolutely ready to fly. Like, what is it?
Fly for the Blue Angels?
Or just like one of these types of like.
Well, I mean, just like our flight. Well, first off, Canada has F-18s too.
Yeah.
And our flight school starts off with primary, just like the Air Force. In fact, the Air Force and the Navy/Marine Corps combining some of their flight schools and are flying the same aircraft. So it's a turboprop. It's a high-performance prop engine. Based on your performance there, you're able to select helicopters, props, or jets. You select jets, then you go fly different platforms and graduate from jet school after going to land on a carrier, doing simulated air-to-ground weaponry, air-to-air weaponry, and all those things. With those things all collected, you have a grade. That grade determines what platform you fly. For the Marine Corps, it's F-18s. Harriers, they call them the jump jet, the British-based AV-8.
Right.
Ours is upgraded to the AV-8B, and then other one is the Prowler. All graduates from Navy flight school who go to be in the Navy and be a Navy pilot, vice a Marine Corps pilot, they all have some variant of F-18, whether it be the older F-18s that look like this one, the bigger ones, the Super Hornets they call it, the ENFs, or now the Growler, which is the replacement for the Prowler, the G model F-18. So the carrier deck soon will be all F-18s except for the control platform, the E-2, and your SAR helicopters, your search and rescue helicopters. So once I pick that, then 1,250 hours are the prerequisite number of hours in order to be qualified or eligible to become a Blue Angel, and that typically takes 6 to 8 years in fleet flying, 200, 300 hours a year with workups and deploying and things like this.
Oh, wow. Okay. Now, it's interesting. You guys sort of could you see us when we were all gathered here today?
I can't because I'm looking at a specific point on the aircraft in front of me to make it look balanced and symmetrical.
Okay.
So I'm not looking outside the aircraft.
Yeah.
Boss is, and number 4 is. 4 is the guy underneath, tucked up under as a slot, and he kind of has that best seat in the house side for bosses. But 4 can see everything behind him, whereas boss really can't. He can see all the stuff that's happening. He's the airborne safety officer. He backs up boss on some procedure stuff. So he could see what was going on, but not the rest of us. We're all looking at specific checkpoints on the aircraft.
Right, yeah, makes sense. Okay. Where are you from originally?
I'm not too far away from just north of Detroit, Michigan.
Oh, really? Wow.
So really, in all honesty, it's west of Sarnia, about 45 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Wow.
In fact, friends will come over and family will be coming from that area.
Oh, you got friends and family?
Via Port Huron to Sarnia to come up and travel to Toronto. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. So, have you ever been to this air show before?
I've never been to Toronto.
Never been here?
Nope. One of the beauties and one of the unspoken